Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, afternoon, morning, wherever you are in the world. It's time for another live stream, and it's time to talk about more of the nonsense that's gone on in the drone, FPV, and whatever other world I find myself in. Now, today we're going to talk a bit about Foxeer and this bit of a mess that has created itself around the Digisite 3 for the HD0 system. We're going to talk about the Runcam Split HD, the Inspire 2, as well as this new module from Express LRS, or sorry, this new module for Express LRS from Axis Flying, and really where that stands in the future in the ecosystem of Express LRS, because it's interesting because of the cost, and it's almost the first push into, I'm not going to say high-end hardware, but expensive hardware for Express LRS. And it's going to be interesting to see where it lands up on that one as well. And as always, it is a Q&A stream, so we will try and answer any questions along the way too. Now, before we start everything off, we're going to jump over to the chat. Let me just have a look across. I saw Failsafe there. Andy Taylor, how are you, my friend? Failsafe, good evening, my friend. How are you? Type. Yes, absolutely. I replied to you on the messages about the Inspire 2 video in the cube. Eat more possum. Thank you very much. That's very kind of you. Ian is looking for the right props. I'm always looking for the right props. Sam Rose FPV, good evening. Jorg Joe, hello there from Berlin. How are you, my friend, over in Germany? I hope life is good with you guys. Geordie, Sam Rose, GMI, good evening. Just in time, foggy damp. Yeah, it's got really foggy, isn't it, GMI? In like the last 2 hours. It was a lovely day today, and I haven't been able to fly today because I've been doing family stuff. What a day today we've had. Would have been for flying as well. Clear, no wind. But really foggy. It's just come in really foggy. Bobby Bags, what's up? Ripped from the driver's seat of my car. Very nice. It is cold though. It is getting cold. Grumpsy, how are you? Jeremiah Glass Pound, how are you? So no, good evening, everyone. Now I'm just going to ramble on a little bit because we're going to start today's stream with a video, which I'm going to come on to in a minute, and then we'll come on to the main subjects first of all. But I just want to get the numbers to go up before we start that video, and you guys have no idea what's in store for you, I'll say that. But it's been an interesting week, and we're beginning to see the wind down now of the drone industry. Everyone's sort of getting ready for CES with regards to the releases. It's looking like almost certain the Autel stuff is going to come in January. That you know, dealers are sort of laying hints. So we're going to see the new models from Autel land in January. Will we see something from DJI? Who knows? I'm not expecting anything big, but that isn't to say you won't see some products from them. And I wouldn't even be shocked to see a Mini 4 or something like that, or Mini 3, whatever we're on now. I'm losing track. Or something anyway to fill the gap. But then again, I would have thought we'd see that before Christmas. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting period, and we're continuing to see the problems associated with pricing, and we're going to talk a bit about that as well with regards to the cost of stuff, because I'm in the middle of getting ready to do a new build, and the 7-inch build, I got the AOS 7 coming, and the plan for that is going to be the 1 watt VTX from HD0, because we think that's going to come in the new year as well, and it's going to be interesting to see that. So I've ordered the AOS 7 and it's en route, and that should be here this week, so I'm really looking forward to that. I'm still in the process of speccing it, and Failsafe, who's been on the Discord server, which I'll come on to in a second, we've been talking a bit about that over there as well. I've spent the last couple of days playing with the bigger aircraft as well at the moment, so I've been trying to get them underway. So before we get on to the next subject, I'm going to share something with you, so please enjoy. If any of you are left by the time this is finished, we'll talk about it and go from there. So let's go for it.
And I got caught up in a cord there. There you go. I challenge any other YouTuber to beat me to clapping push-ups.
Okay, so this clearly isn't going to end well, but let's see what happens. If you want to make a complaint about what you're about to see, please send it to Dave at the EV blog because it's going to be his fault. Anyway, let's get on with this. Haven't you seen what I look like, Dave? The state of me. Right. 1, 2, 3. Oh, fucking hell. Fuck now. Fuck you, Dave, and your fitness. Please go and troll Dave by going to his website and buying as many multimeters of his as you can. That way he'll have to spend all his time packaging and posting things, and he can't do any more stupid challenges like he's done. Thank you. Never again will I ever attempt anything like that. Ever, ever, ever. I will get you, Dave Jones. I will get you, Dave Jones. I can promise you that. These people with their fitness, and they thought that it's a good idea. But yes, if you guys don't know who that is Dave Jones from the EV blog, who is, alongside Bruce, one of the real early and frankly top of the pile YouTubers for tech and drone and anything. He doesn't do drones, but he does tech and everything. And I've been watching Dave a very long time, and he put that out the other day, and I couldn't resist. Let's just say getting involved. But yeah, how in hell he is capable of doing that, I don't know. But I'm going to actually put a separate video of that up on the channel later. But sod you, Dave, it ain't happening. What I will say, though, is I have ordered his multimeter, and I will have it here this week. He shipped it already, so I think it's going to be here this week. So you're after a multimeter, please do check Dave's out, because he has... it's a great way of supporting him, actually, and it's been something I've been thinking about, of how we can do something to support the channel as well. And Dave's, he's got his custom multimeter, which is really good, actually. And it'll be interesting to see what options are out there. And I'm intrigued. Is there anything, I'm not interested really in doing product in the sense of, traditional drone stuff, motor stuff. I don't want to become a retailer. That's not worth it. But what I'd like to do is try and find something, and I have had an idea up my sleeve, I just haven't had a chance to finish, but I would be interested, because it is a good way of channels funding themselves. And I was watching Dave's video the other day, and he was talking about just how busy he is with multimeters, and he did say the more people who buy it, it just takes up a lot of his time. So please troll him by buying one of his multimeters. That way he can't make any more content. It'll keep him off YouTube. But he is a great guy, and Dave is one of the best all-round people as well. He's been doing it for a very, very long time. He may be, and this is interesting, if you don't know, he may actually be the first Australian YouTuber to go full-time, which is incredible. And, Bruce, it's funny, we in the tech space have some really, really early YouTube people who've been doing this a very long time, and it is interesting. It is interesting. So I thought I would share with you that abomination. Sorry for making you watch it. But yeah, that will go on the channel at 11 o'clock tonight, and I'm going to ping Dave a message to harass him. So we need to get on with tonight's show, and I'm going to go clear for this one. So the first thing we are going to talk about is Foxeer and the little bit of a storm that has arisen around the release of the Digisite 3 for HD0. If you don't know the background of this, the Digisite 3 was released for DJI, and then there was another version released for HD0 shortly afterwards, and everyone got really excited. However, they've come out with a bit of a statement, and it's caused a bit of a crap storm, to say the least. So what I'm going to do is hop over to the desktop to show you guys, and you have the statement that they have put out on the HD0 site saying basically that there is an issue with the firmware on some of the cameras they've shipped, or at least all of the cameras before a certain date, which is the 27th of November to the 8th of November. And what they're doing is saying is they're going to reach out to people who ordered these cameras because there is an issue. The wrong firmware has been installed and it gives a green-blue tint to the footage. Now, we'll take a look at some of the footage in a minute to try and understand what they're actually saying here or what we're seeing. But they're giving people some options, and the options are send your camera back, which is use the cheapest post and mark it for them, and as soon as you've done it, they'll give you a coupon for compensation, which means you can order another one, or they'll send you the right version of the camera. So they'll basically either use the cheapest post, send it back and mark your order and they'll refund, show us the freight by email and they'll give you a compensation coupon, or make a photo of the goods, tracking by email, and they'll send the right version of the camera in 3 days. So they're not waiting for the original camera to go back. As long as you've taken a picture of it and stuffed it in the post, they'll then ship you a new camera. If you accept the camera, so you keep the camera, they will give you a coupon for $25 in compensation, allowing you to buy the new one, whatever it costs moving forward. So they've given people some options on this. However, it hasn't gone down well, and some people have complained about the fact that people are having to pay to send their camera back to get it replaced. I get that. There is an argument to be said that if they know the firmware is wrong, then they should just send you another camera. Let's be realistic on this. Having the old one back isn't 100% necessary to fix the problem. Let's be honest. At the end of the day, you can't flash the firmware on these. You can't fix it in HD0, so the camera has to be replaced. So there has been some complaints that Foxeer are making you return the camera rather than them just ship you a replacement. It's more that they don't want you to keep the broken one, which I'll be honest, I am a bit dubious on that fact. If they've admitted there's a problem, they should just ship you a replacement camera and call it quits, because there is cost involved whatever happens here to them. If send your camera back, please use the cheapest post is the option, camera, mark your order for that. So if you think it's going to be a quid or two, isn't it, or $1 or $2, show us your freight by email and they'll give you a corresponding coupon, which is this one down here, the $25, and make a photo of the goods with a tracking email and then send the right version of the camera in 3 days. Now, I would probably have chose option C if it was me on this one. That's where I'd have probably gone with this, and I'd have just said, I'm sending it back and can you send me another one, please? And I'd have picked cheap postage, probably £1.50 or £2. But is it right that you have to pay that money out yourself? And that is the argument here over the way Foxeer have handled this. Coupon compensation, or if you accept it, which I think $25 isn't bad, because the price of the camera is $49 to $57. So if we went for a red standard, no cable, it's $49. So you're going to get a second one for half price. So it isn't terrible. It isn't, you're going to get, if you wanted a proper one and have a spare camera that you're not particularly worried about the colors on, you can get another one for $25. But I do understand why there's been a lot of noise over this. I'm not going to sit here and say I think they've been perfect, because they haven't. There has been quite a few arguments on this on the HD0 website, with one user suggesting that Foxeer should be banned from the HD0 Facebook page. And look, I've let my comments be well known on that, and I think it's a stupid idea, frankly. But I'm not saying Foxeer are not without fault here. I've been looking through the footage, and I'll be honest, I can't see anything terrible, if I'm honest. Here's some footage here of it from Anthony Riviere, he's one of the, he's a good guy, is Anthony, and he posts a lot on there. And okay, it's a bit oversaturated, but it's not terrible. I'm not going to sit here and say it's shocking. And I do wonder if that's why they're not instantly just sending people out cameras, because it's not shocking. It's not perfect or what they would want it to be, but it certainly isn't unusable and certainly isn't terrible. And actually, many people were talking and saying this camera looks good. I don't see a problem with it. It is said that it is playing up in bright conditions. It looks worse in very, very bright sunshine, and I don't think there's bright sunshine here on this day. There's a bit of cloud in the sky, so it's not blasting sunshine. But it is clear that they've got an issue, but a few people have bought them. This one does look worse. If you look at this, you can see it on this footage. This one does look, there's definitely a green tinge to it. More green than blue. But again, I'll be honest, I wouldn't be completely unhappy with that for an FPV camera. It's not great, but it's certainly not terrible. So I think it comes down to how each person would interpret what they expect to do and how you expect a company to handle it. And I'm interested in what you guys think. You tell me in the chat. Do you think they've handled it well? Carl has commented on it, and Carl has been very magnanimous and said, look, if we're going to start counting mistakes, HD0 are going to be at the top of the list, and it was a very good comment from Carl. And yeah, I get people are unhappy. I get that. But I think to ask them to be banned is ridiculous. My posts are on there. I to be honest, the guy who said they should be banned, I said it's bloody ridiculous. It's a stupid idea. If they were selling time, if this happens 5 times, 6 times, then I think you've got to start putting warnings out there. But at the end of the day, it isn't a HD0 endorsed product. It isn't manufactured by HD0. It's a third-party compatible product for the HD0 system. And I don't really see a massive reason to go too extreme. But look, they've held their hands up, and that's great. And at the end of the day, look, I'll be blunt. This should not have happened, and their quality control should have picked this up before it left the door. It isn't good enough. That is thing. But let's not pretend this is DOA units or units that don't work properly. This is a color science issue, which is somewhat correctable in post anyway. And I think that is why they've gone down the route they have. And I think that's why they're sort of saying, if you want to keep the camera, we'll give you half price back. Or if you want to send it back, pay the shipping. At the end of the day, it is what it is. It is what it is. It's certainly not the worst thing in the world, and I'm actually surprised at the amount of noise there's been on this. We've seen a lot worse. I've seen a lot worse things out there. So yeah, it is what it is. So that's the situation. They are. If you've got one and you don't like it, reach out to them. I did just see. I still think the quality's all right. Ban the word ban. Makes miserable awful days in the UK actually look nice. Yeah, and look, there are the Polar cameras on the Polar Starlight has a tinge to it. It certainly does have a greeny tinge to it. It's not perfect, especially when the white balance shifts on it. So, this is up there with those other issues. Like the Polar Starlight, the white balance shifts as soon as you flip the drone, the aircraft. So it's not terrible. It's not terrible. And actually, to be completely honest, the Runcam HD0 green's oversighted. Yeah, it does, 100%. The Runcam HD0 greens, yeah, all of these cameras are. The color science on any of these FPV cameras isn't great. It really isn't, and I think it has been overblown. But you also have to say fair play to Foxeer for putting this out there in the way they've done it as well. At the end of the day, they have reached out. They could have said very little and just corrected the color science. They could have done that. What I would probably do is I'd take the $25 and order another one. That's what I do, and take a repaired one and have two. There's been a shortage of cameras. Why would you not want two? That way, you've got a spare lens, you've got a spare everything, just in case you need one. And even if you haven't got a drone, you can, to put it in, you can at least have a spare camera, spare lens, and you're up and running if you break something. So, you know, there are options here. It's a shame you can't update the firmware, and that's probably what we now need to see from HD0 is a lot more. We need a bit more compatibility on firmware updates on cameras and stuff. It's not much better on DJI, let's be realistic. But yeah, it's not end of the world. It's not shocking. But yeah, if you've got one, I would probably take the $25 and order a second one and have another camera for $25. That's probably what I'd do. So that's the Foxeer thing. Really a storm in a teacup. I haven't got one. I haven't ordered one yet. I've been holding back. Good job I did, actually. There was a slew of cameras that came out at the same time, and I was doing other stuff and I sort of fell behind. And look, camera reviews are not my out and out bag. There are great channels out there that do all of the camera reviews on a daily basis. So I'll pick and choose the ones I want to have a look at, or if the manufacturer reaches out to me, I'm more than happy to review it. But I'm not going to ordering every single camera to go over, because there are great people like Gal and others who are doing that on a daily basis. GMI Storm in a Teacup. If I had the camera, I would just keep it. Yeah. Don't like the oversaturation. Looks like watching a cartoon. And I think it's going to be heavily dependent on where you are in the world as well. The conditions you're in. As I said, in the UK, it might look actually very, very good. I'm actually happy how they've responded. Yeah, I don't think it's terrible. And you know, I think Foxeer should have a bit of credit for at least holding their hands up. You know, I understand people not wanting to pay money to send it back, but it isn't end of the world. You know, it isn't end of the world. If the camera adjustment settings just in the OST, the camera needs adjustment settings. Yeah, and that's the thing. They would have been. It's even though I don't have the Starlight version, it's a damn good low light camera. Yeah, and that's the thing. You know, all of these cameras are not great from a color point of view. You know, part of the big problem with FPV cameras is that they're mostly derived from CCTV cameras, especially the low light ones. And someone was asking the other day, and I don't remember if I spoke about this on the live stream last week, and I apologize if I did, but the reality is this. Someone was asking why there are not 120 frames a second low light cameras for DJI. And the reason for that is most of the 120 frame sensors are designed for cinematic use. So, you know, action cameras and stuff like that. These cameras with slightly larger sensors with good low light performance, those sensors are primarily designed for CCTV applications, and they're not designed to be out and out perfect sensors for the image quality or the color and the whole behavior on that. And they have to change the filters, and they have to change how it actually deals with the IR, because it can't have an IR cut, because if it has an IR cut, it won't have night vision and stuff like that. So they do behave differently. So manufacturers have a choice. If they want a really good camera for light level, you want to go down the road of a sensor that's good for light use. But if you want really good camera for night use, they're having to move more towards these sensors for CCTV, and that's why they don't look as good as the other ones. You know, generally the sensors are 1/8 sensors. They're larger for the most part, which gives them the same megapixel count, or smaller in fact. Many of the times these sensors have a smaller megapixel count but are larger pixels, which helps it gather more light, which allows it to work better in night conditions. But yeah, so, you know, not all sensors are equal, and that's why, for instance, on the DJI side, you're not seeing these 120 frames a second low light cameras, because those sensors that can do 120 frames a second are simply not designed for low light applications. That's the basic reality of it. So that's the Foxeer thing. Hopefully people, I'm going to probably order one now. I'm going to have to order one anyway. I need a couple more cameras for HD0 because I've got 3 VTXs there. I want another HD0 camera. When is the batch of them due? I haven't actually seen that. I haven't seen any comments on that, so I'd like to get another one of them for the other build when the 7-inch comes, and we can look at that from there. But if you're interested in one, the Digisite is available on the Foxeer website, $49. They will be shipping their next batch very, very shortly. Looks a decent camera. really overall. You know, this one's got a 1/2-inch sensor, so it is a smaller sensor than we've seen on some of the other ones. You know, but again, it's bigger than the standard one. But yeah, you know, they don't actually say though what megapixel count it is, which is interesting. They say 3 mil low latency, but they don't say what the actual megapixel count of the camera is. But I think, you know, a lot of people seem happy. A lot of people overall seem okay with it. So I don't think there's any issues too badly on that one. And as I said, for me, yes, it looks very green. It looks very saturated. You can even see the reds look quite red and the greens look very green. It's certainly not terrible, though. It really isn't. I've seen worse, I'll be honest. Anyone who's flown the Nebula Nano, the original Nebula Nano, will know that. That's for sure. So, yeah, certainly not terrible at all. Okay, guys, so if you've got any questions on that one, please do let me know. It's not terrible at all. Exactly, K. Anthony. It really isn't. It is what it is. Nebula Nano is awful. It is shocking, is the Nebula Nano. It's beyond shocking. Yeah, exactly, and that's the interesting part. I'd be more bothered by the props inside. Yeah, I do know that the HD0 camera does benefit from a bit of sharpness in the settings. It does benefit from a bit of sharpness. The Runcam Micro next batch will be called version 2. I wonder what the changes are. And this is the problem with FPV cameras, right? They're constantly changing them all the time. They're just rushing them out all of the time. They really are. So, you know, that's it from Foxeer. Again, I think they've behaved overall not bad. You know, if the camera didn't work, I would expect them to ship someone one for free without any of the returns. But I think what they've probably done is looked at this and gone, well, it's a good camera. It's just not 100% as we wanted it to be. We'll put it out there and see what people do. You know, let's be realistic, right? If they're giving you back $25, they're losing money on every single one. They are losing. So that first batch, they're losing money on everyone. You know, there's no way they'll be making money on that. There really isn't. Could the HD0 system work with 120 frames a second cameras? Carl said it can work with 1080p, but I thought it might be limited to 60 frames a second. I thought it's limited to 60 frames a second. I think, if I recall, and this is in Chris Ross's video, I don't think there's any benefit of HD0 going to 120 frames a second from a latency point of view. I just don't think there is. I don't think there's a major benefit. I don't. Okay, guys. The next thing we're going to talk about is this. The Runcam Split HD that has finally released. Now, I may have one of these coming or may not. I don't know. All I will say is they reached out to me and we've had a few messages back and forth, but every time I've replied, it's sort of been, we would like you to put this in a 3 or 4 inch frame. And I've replied back and said, I've not currently got a 3 or 4 inch build on the go. And that's where it left. So I'm not going to say anything bad about Runcam. They've been very good. They did ask me, do I want to have a look? And I said, yes. But they wanted me to put it in a 3 or 4 inch frame. And I'm not building an aircraft to put a camera in at the moment, at least. I might have put together a 3 inch build in the new year, but I'm not doing it right now. So I'm not going to sit here and beg or plead to be sent something when the manufacturer wants me to jump through hoops. That's the reality. If they want me to have a look at it, I'll look at it and I'll talk about it and I'll try and share as much info as I can and try and give you my opinion and the truth. But at the end of the day, I'm not jumping through hoops for a review sample. I'm just not doing it. So it's arrived and it's come with a few interesting findings. And as has already been put in the chat, latency. And it appears that the unit is adding up to 30 milliseconds of latency. So what we have here is already a normal latency camera. You know, this isn't 120 frames a second. This is a normal latency camera, and then it's adding another 30 milliseconds or so on top. I would like to test this properly on my test set, I will be honest, on the oscilloscope, just to understand more and do a comparison between the two. Or have a look at it on Chris Ross's high-speed footage. It is interesting. You know, it has built-in gyro stabilization, which allows you to stabilize the footage. It records. But let's be honest with this. I'm really not seeing the point of this device in some ways. And I could be wrong if I played with it. However, I am struggling a little bit here on this one. It records in 2.7K. I don't believe it works with any of the other cameras. I believe it only works with their own camera at this moment in time. It works with the other ear units absolutely fine, so it works with them, but it only works with this camera as I understand it. It's 5 megapixel, records the records at 2.7K 60. And it outputs 720p 60. Sony sensor, 5 megapixel. It can take a 120 gig card and it's 20 by 20. But yeah, it's a bit of a funny one. It really is. It might be okay on a wing, as someone said. Yeah, I think a wing use would be okay. But I would then argue, and I haven't looked at this, so wait there. The weight of this is 20 grams with camera. Okay, so let me just check something because I haven't weighed a DJI unit. What's the weight of a DJI unit in camera? I haven't actually checked this. I can't remember. DJI FPV unit weight. So the weight of the DJI unit is 45 grams. Unit camera included. So 45 grams with the camera on the DJI. Okay. So the Cadex Vista is 30 grams with the camera. VTX is 19, 10 grams for the camera. So that's 30. So that's 30 grams. This unit weighs 19.9. So that's more than the weight of a DJI unit in camera. So if I'm getting this right, the weight of this unit with a Vista is 5 grams more than a full-size DJI Air unit with the built-in DVR. And the only benefit to this is you do get the gyro stabilization and 2.7K, whereas the DJI Air unit records in 1080p. So that seems a bit strange to me, where the market is, because what I would end up doing is using the DJI Air unit with the Air unit camera and upscale it to 2.7K in Resolve. If I wanted to do that, that would maybe for whoops. It is designed for small applications. Yeah, there's no question about that. Yeah, you know, it is much smaller than the Air unit. But I don't know. I'd need to test it to understand more. One of the things I did think was a bit of an issue with it as well, and I think this will catch people out, is the fact that it only supports 5-volt input. And the problem with that is you've got the Vista that takes up to 6S, but this unit only takes 5-volt. And I can see a few people burning these out because people will just assume that you can just wire one to the other directly to the battery. And I do see that being a problem. And when I saw that, it was one of those things I looked at and just went, ooh, not sure about that one. You know, it's always dodgy ground when you have a mix and match of voltage capabilities in a product grouping. And I know it's not made by DJI. I know it's designed to go on top of the Vista, but what you're going to have is a Vista that people may wire directly to the battery pad, and they'll just assume they can do the same with this. And I see that happening. I do see that happening. It should have had the full voltage rail input that the Vista could have, and not this lower voltage input like we're seeing here. So we're gonna see, but yeah, I haven't got one. We do. Gal has done his review, and he's the one that I think it's Gal. Is it Gal that's done it? Let's have a look. YouTube. Runcam Split HD. There he goes. Gal has put his out, so he's put it there.
How is Purina
and actually, he was weighing it then, wasn't he? So I didn't.
Whether your bond is gentle,
Phone 28mm.
Where's his scales? Let's just have a look when we get to the scales. And also the setup is a bit of a faff on it as well. Let's just have a look. He's got it in here. Did I miss where he weighed it? There he is. Sorry.
Grams, and including
so yeah, 39 grams.
The total
40 grams
weight is 39.3 grams.
There we go.
The outer dimensions of the camera unit.
It's a lot of weight, and it's not a small camera neither. You know, if you design it for whoops, it's a 20 by 20 camera. It's not a 14 by 14. Interesting one. And obviously the setup's a bit weird. You do it via that message, you know, that QR code on Runcam.
Your desired resolution for recording videos and other parameters. Press the QR code.
Bit of a strange one, you know.
Button.
And the weird thing with this product for me is it doesn't have the option of additional OSD. You know, if they'd have been able to integrate OSD functionality as well, such as canvas mode, I think it could have been a very interesting option for a lot of people. It really could have. But as it stands, it's a bit of a weird one. It's a bit of a weird one. I'd like to see it. I might order one. How much is it? It's $99 with the camera. And with a Vista, it's $169. So I might do an order for one in the new year and have a look at it. But as someone just said there then, I'm not sure what problem it solves. If it had come with a 14 by 14 camera, I sort of get it. But it's not. It's coming with a 20 by 20 camera. It's adding weight. It almost makes you wonder. And the only thing I did think of on this is, do they know something we don't? And could the DJI unit be going out of production? And that's the only other thing I did wonder. And could we be left with this if all of the E units go? That sounds cool, Jimmy. That sounds very cool. Peppermint Pilot. Jimmy Thorate Nicola did a thorough review. He liked it very much. Did he? Does anyone have a poll? Does anyone run a poll to see the top 5 user FPV cameras? It's very complicated because you've got the analog mix in there now as well. 4K is the standard. Might be good on a wing. It's nice to have the gyro stabilization. There are so many FPV photos that I look at and myself I think, what were they thinking? Could be competition to the Cadex Peanut. Yeah. You know, in some ways, yes. In some ways, yes. If you think about it, we're looking at it from that side of things, and perhaps you've got to start looking at it from the other side. But we're going to have to see. I might reply. I need to reply to Runcam anyway and say, no, I don't have a 3 or 4 inch build. What do you want to do? You can only talk about things if they want to send it to you. It's that simple, isn't it? Okay, guys. So if you've got any questions, please do put them in the chat as we're going along. I'm going to have a sip of my tea. Something I did see this week is someone has started to do the wiring on the FPV, the DJI Action camera, the Action 2, which is quite cool. Someone started to make a bracket for it. It's something I was going to do. I just haven't had time. For the guys who know, I created the pinout a little bit a while back. So I figured out the USB charging pinout for it. Let me just find it. I shared this a while back. Exported on you. So for those who don't remember, oh, wrong camera, that one there. I showed what it will take, the camera input. So the voltage there and there in ground and 700 milliamps. Is the current draw on it, and I put that I showed that 2 months ago now, and someone's put a drone together with it looking like a bracket with it on as well. So we're going to see some solutions for that fairly soon on the DJI FPV camera. There's no question it is much faster now. It really is. Random question. I cracked my DJI camera lens today to try and drive through a baseball hoop. It is. They are glued, but they will come loose. My one on my original DJI one has just come loose. There is a lens people have been saying is a good replacement, but I can't remember what it is. There is a lens of. There is a lens that is recommended. Let me just see if I can find it for the official DJI FPV camera. Let me just see if I can find it. Let me just see if I can find it. I saw one the other day that was just trashed. There was one that made me laugh. Let's just have a look. Trying to find. There is no, it's not on there. Just bought a brand new plastic wrap Action 2 today. Congratulations. The new firmware does make a difference. The new firmware does make a difference. I'll be honest. It does improve the transfer times on it. I am going to do a catch-up video on it. And talk about it again. And I have spotted something new as well. And I need to check mine now because it's been on charge all day. And I've been able, it looks like DJI have made a slight change on the Action 2's app and firmware. And that change is that the way it worked originally was when you get the camera, you have the option for high temp mode. But the second you connected it to the DJI Mimo or Mimo app, whatever they call it, it would automatically set the region for wherever you are and then take that option away from you. However, what I have noticed with the new firmware and the new app is it now asks you, do you want to update the settings? And if you say no, you still get the option for high temp. Now, I tried this like 10, 15, 20 times and it was fine. And then I tried updating the settings and I've lost the setting again. So I'm now trying to figure out how to get it back. And I have had it. See, it's gone again now. It's not there. Look, I did have it do it when the battery went flat. But it isn't flat. So at the moment, I'm trying to figure out how to get it to give me that option back. I've tried resetting the camera. I've tried changing the region language settings and it isn't working. So if anyone has an idea how to fully reset it, let me know. I would appreciate it. It has done it randomly. I'd love to find a way of forcing that option back and then ignoring the option in the app. I did it to test it, but yeah, it was giving us the option of not overriding the settings, which meant in the UK you could have the high heat mode, which was quite cool. If I bring up my Discord server, for those of you who don't know, we do have a Discord server. And I'd put a picture of it on there. There it is. And this was device configuration update. Updating the configuration in the current area may cause the device to disconnect, which will need reconnecting afterwards. Now, that did allow me to click cancel, and it would carry on. But I haven't quite worked it out yet to be able to get it properly. Does it use with a VPN? No, it hasn't. See, I've tried a VPN and that isn't working either. I can't. What I want to try is I need to get an Android phone, one of the spare Android phones here, and set it up completely as in the US from scratch and then connect it. Let me just grab my other drink. 2 seconds, guys. Sorry about that. It's getting a bit warm in here at the moment. No, it hasn't worked with a VPN when I've tried it. But it has manually reset it. So it's looking like if you can get it to reset, you can get it in the correct mode. Yeah, I did share that on the Discord server. For those of you who don't know, I do have my own Discord server. If you're interested in checking it out, please do hop over there. I also share some of the stuff that I'm doing. There was a bit of footage that I shared from the Inspire review, which had just gone live, this was taken on the action. This was shot in the action. And this will lead us quite nicely into the Inspire 2, actually. And I've been flying the Inspire 2 for the last 2 days, putting it through some tests and getting it where it needs to be. And the video went live today, so that should be under the archive section. Where is it? The Inspire 2. Where is the video? There it is. As you can see, this video went live today talking about the new Inspire 2 update. And I took it out. It was getting quite dark, but there was some really nice footage, actually. I got some really nice footage from the aircraft that time of night. I do forget how good at times this aircraft can be. For those who haven't seen the video, this is flying with the X5S, and it is very good at what it does. It really is very good at what it does, this aircraft. In low light especially, you know, MFT isn't the best in low light, and this is recorded in H.264, I think. It might have been in H.265. I put it through its paces as much as I could. I give it a good hammering, but we also just put it through on some, you know, late evening footage, and this was just me just messing around on some of the footage. I put 5 sets of packs through the aircraft, testing that new O600 firmware to make sure it's doing what it should be doing. But it does look good. You know, the footage from this aircraft is outstanding. It really, really is outstanding. And I haven't flown it as much as I probably should have in the last couple of years. And I'm looking forward to getting my hands on the Mavic 3. It will be with me this week, I believe, to allow me to have a play with it over the Christmas period. And with that, I'll be... in some ways, I'd like to do some comparisons on it, really, between the two, and try and see how they are compared to each other, and can the Mavic 3 do what everyone wants it to do, and in some ways be that replacement for the Inspire in many situations. Now, okay, so it's getting dark, so I need to try and get this bit done quickly. What I wanted to talk about on it is, and if you haven't seen it, the new firmware has been released. Just bring the chat back up, and it seems to be fine, but there is some quirks with this 0500 firmware that people are having. It is very, very interesting, the behavior on this, you know. And we're going to have to see. Mavic 3 shite at the moment from everyone I know. I will have one in hands in the next few days, and I'm going to be able to really put it through its tested. GMI, love the music and footage. Yeah, I used to, you know, look, I am a commercial drone operator. I have done an awful lot of stuff which I haven't, you know, I don't share publicly. I used to do a lot of aerial photography style footage, you know. I actually prefer photography than aerial video most of the time. I do prefer photography, and I've got some really nice shots, and actually there's a couple of nice ones I haven't done anything with off this run. Shots, stills I haven't done yet that I want to edit out and try to create something nice. But yeah, you know, aerial photography is something I've done a massive amount of, and it was an area I got into heavily involved with when I stepped out of FPV for a while and into the aerial photography stuff. And you know, these drones are really very, very good and very, very capable, and they are capable of doing some amazing things. You know, you can get some absolutely outstanding results from these aircraft. You really, really can, if you're willing to put the time in and you're willing to let me just mods 20, that one there, when you're ready to put the time in and use them as aerial photography, you know. And it's interesting to see how many people are now adding in FPV to that. It's really hard with FPV right now because of the small sensors and the noise you get from them. And this has been the problem with the DJI FPV drone. I was hoping to do a lot more with that product, but I've just not been able to because the results are just not good enough. And that's the thing. I'm just going to try and find some images now, actually. Let me just... let me just find... where is it? Here we go. You know, some of the ones I've done over the years, you know, this is an Inspire 1 shot, actually. This is a shot I took on the Inspire 1 one night. Similar, very close location, actually. I think this, yeah, that's another one from that batch. Over the years, you know, you get used to playing, and you know, the more you do it, the more you get from the aircraft. I'm just trying to get to the list of it, trying to find some of the other ones that I've done over the years as well. One of my favorite actual low level shots that I did was on the Inspire 1. It was a low level shot, but it just was very, very nice. No, it's not that one. I was just trying to see where it is. On this, actually, an easier way to do this. I should have an exported images folder. Actually, that's the easiest. It's not on that one. Where are they hiding? Nope, not that one. Update the file. Pictures. Lightroom exported. Nope. I do have an exported footage file folder somewhere on the drive. Just can't seem to find it. But with the Inspire 2, how fast can I type on monkeytype.com? I'm not as fast as I used to be, I'll be honest. I used to be pretty decent, but these days I'm not great. Have I been to the Makhluk? No, no, I haven't. I know it's quite crazy up there. I do know it is quite a mad place. Here we go. Here are some. This is one of my favorite shots, actually. This one is one I took of the Inspire 2, actually in action. This one. This was me testing it. This is not these. What we got on here, right there. These are some early shots I had when I first got the aircraft, actually. That's on top of a mountain down here. That's a composite image of some islands down here, which I took. That is actually from that day. So that you can see that island up there, which is there. That island you can see is that image there. From that shoot, that was when I first got the Mavic 2. Great little aircraft. But, you know, the aerial photography, in fact, that's another shot. That was me flying the Inspire on that day. It's one the wife took as I was actually flying it. But look, you know, you can get some really nice images from these aircraft when you put the time in. That was another one that night, getting ready to go. And these really ones with trees and stuff. I got thousands of images, absolutely thousands of them. Somewhere. I'm looking for the one of my favorite. Is that the Inspire 1? Or that's the 2, isn't it? Is that the 1 or the 2? I think that's the Inspire 1, that one. That's another one I took down the beach one day. And yeah, when we get a bit of nice weather. We don't always get a bit of nice weather here. But and then I'll show you guys one final pair. There was that one which I took on the Inspire one day when it wakes up. When the hard drive wakes up, that is. Ah, there we go. That's one down here. That's that, yeah, that's that day. Some roof inspection ones. There's a castle. Yeah, like, you know, like the more you do, and that was another one I took on that. That's on the Inspire 1, actually, that one. So that's another nice, that was another big aerial image off the Inspire 1. But again, I used to do a huge amount of aerial photography. Less so in the last 2 years. I haven't been to the Mac Loop, Steve. No. Wales is beautiful. I think you need to send a link for something. I don't type as fast. So the situation with that Inspire 2 firmware is, as far as I can see, it's fine. But there is a lot of question marks over this upgrade path thing at the moment, and we're going to have to see where that ends up. You know, we're going to have to see where that goes. Now, if you've got any questions, guys, please do put them in the chat. I'm trying to find my browser. I've lost it. If you do have any questions, please do put it in the chat and let me know. If there's anything you'd like to know as we're working through, please do check it out. As I said earlier, we do have the Discord server. If you're not a member, please do check it out. Let me find it. That's Twitter. That's the Discord server. Let me turn that off a minute. I'm just going to mute a second. I'm going to cough. Sorry about that. I think my drink went down the wrong hole. If you're not a member, please do check it out. We've got Failsafe, we've got Type. I was talking there about the AOS 7 build. And we do talk about all sorts on this. You get some flight footage from some of the guys as well. Also some other stuff. We do try to put some content on there too as well. I'm trying to build it up as much as I possibly can. But if you are interested in coming on, please do check it out. The more people, the merrier, basically. Actually, I need to turn that with it. Let me go back to that and turn that back on. There you go. I'd lost that then. I bumped into a fella this year with an Inspire 1. He sent it out for me. Opened the boot and looked at it for FPV5 and felt inadequate. Yeah, the Inspire 1 is okay. Inspire 2. The one thing I am really looking forward to on the Mavic 3 is seeing how the image quality looks on the live feed. I believe it is the best there's been. And actually, the only thing I will say is, flying the Inspire 2 today, Lightbridge 2 isn't great. You do see that Lightbridge 2 is nice. It's not up there with OcuSync now. And the comments I have seen from the Inspire 3, sorry, the Mavic 3, is that the live feed image quality is outstanding. It is outstanding. Okay, Gumsy, you've pushed me on to the next subject, and that next subject is Express LRS, and that is... Actually, I'm going to start that again. I got some wind off the drink. Sorry about that. I'm still choking a little bit after that. Okay, so the next subject we're going to talk about is Express LRS and this new module from Axis, I think it is. So let me just get it up. And this is the new Express LRS module, which is their new Thor TX Pro. And this is a expensive, high-end Express LRS module. You know, if I Axis FPV... and we'll go to their website as well, get ready for it. And the reviews have come out now. JB's got one. I think JB's has gone live already. It has, I watched it. And a couple of the reviews have gone up now. And, you know, the interesting thing on this for me isn't the module. There's really nothing new here other than they've made a module that is technically compatible with non-OpenTX radios. The interesting thing is the price, and the reality of this is they are wanting to sell you an Express LRS module for $127. And this is a new thing for Express LRS, because what they're trying to sell you is a high-quality piece of hardware, in their opinion, much better than everyone else's, and as such, you're getting a much better quality of device overall. Now, we have seen some teardowns in some of the reviews, and we've got a teardown image here, which is the inside of the module. For some reason, on this image, they'd covered over the screen with some tape. I'm not sure why that was done. This might have been a pre-image before the release, and they didn't want people to see it was color. Perhaps that's what it was. But you can see internally, it does look very high quality. You know, it has to be said, it looks very well built. You know, things like this cost money. Custom heat sinks with a custom like fan module and all of this with the vents blowing out the side. So the idea is it drags air through the heatsink and out. All of this costs money to do. You know, this is all machine time and it's all expense. The PCB quality looks very, very good. I don't see any issues at all. The input power stages look good. Look how many capacitors we've got down here. You know, if we zoom in on this image here, so what we've got is the main battery input. You've got 8 caps. You've got a BC here. Look, there's a back here. There's a back this side. We've got, looking around, we've got back. So what looks like to be capacitors for this back, capacitors for this back. This looks like a power management IC, as does this one. This is the USB host controller. So we've got the USB-C host controller. So what we'll have is probably a 3.3 volt and a 5 volt back, most likely. There will be lower voltages involved here for the multi-controller. You might even have 1.6 and things like that. You've got diodes. You know, if you look diode. So there's a lot of work gone into this module. You know, you've got the LCD, you've got the fan wiring, you've got this IC here, you've got that might be the fan controller. Has JB's video got a better picture? Let's just have a look, shall we? YouTube. Let's just go on Joshua's video. Let's find him. Let's find the video. There it is. Let's just have a look if I gotta watch. Let's just mute that. But it'll be interesting to see. Do you love YouTube when it does that? It says you can skip the ad in 3, 2, 1, but we'll watch the ad for JB because we want to support JB. So sorry, guys. I'm going to make you watch the ad in a minute. But it does look an interesting module. There we go. Okay, so I know he tore it apart. How far in is it? Here we go. So I know JB had a good tear into this. So let's get in nice and close and have a look from the top. So again, the design is very similar. Okay, wait, that's the screen, isn't it? Is that not the screen? Is this the back of the module or the front then? Perhaps that's the... I thought the screen was there. No, it's not. That's the back of the screen. Sorry, I'm getting myself mixed up. So yeah, we've definitely got the USB host controller. We've got back, power management IC, smaller power management IC. That looks like a USB controller, because if you look, the lines are going up from the multi-controller here down to the USB. So that does look like another form of controller. That's probably the fan controller, because you can see that wiring's going along there and up. And then we've got another IC over here. That looks to be... Is that the SX18? Let's have a look. Can we see what that is? Yeah, that's the ESP32. I can see that from the label. So we've got the ESP32 down there. So all of this costs money. It does look like a high-quality module. That is not in question here. You've got the heatsink. You've got everything custom done. I'd like to have seen under the heatsink. It's a shame I haven't seen anyone tear it off yet. They're going to pull out the other side. There's not a lot on the back of the PCB. I did see his comments on some of the soldering. I remember now. Some of this was a bit haphazard, to say the least. You know, look at that. That's a bit heavy, but it's not shocking. But that's a ball. So that is a bit... Really? How are you doing? As Dave says. You've got the joystick, the back of the LCD. You've got what looks to be Wi-Fi and chiplet antennas here on the sides for the Wi-Fi update functionality. But yeah, quality looks interesting. It certainly doesn't look terrible. The question is on this is this worth more than what it costs to buy, say, the Happy Model Pro module? So if we go on, let me just go over. So let's get off the full screen. Get off. Thank you. So we've got this module which costs $127. And then if we look for the Happy Model Pro module, Express LRS to Pro is in the TX Pro in the UK is only 32. It's in stock and is only 32. Is that the Pro? TX Pro? That should be the 1 watt, is it not? But it says supports a fan. The TX Pro comes with a fan. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's definitely the TX Pro. You know, the question is it worth more than that? That's what the question is now. So if we look at happymodel.cn, where's their website? I just saw their website. There we go, happymodel.cn. You know, the question is it really worth more than that? And that's the problem we're going to have. The TX Pro is here. They don't sell it directly on Happy Model's website. That does 1 watt of output, doesn't it? I believe it's 1 watt. Yeah, 1 watt of output. So it's a tough one, isn't it? Because if you look at this, okay, so if we look at this on Banggood, there we go. £36, or if we change it to dollars, currency, US, say, what is this in dollars? So you're talking $50, okay? Let's say delivered $50 compared to 127. So you can get yourself 2 of the Happy model modules to 1 of the Axis fly-in. And so the question is, even if there's a 50% failure rate in the Happy Model modules, you could still have 2 for the same price and save some money. So I don't fully think they've got this right. I'd like to try it, and I'd like to tear it down and continue to check the quality. Are they all like this? Is it really any better? It's a lot of coin. And I do think it's a lot of money for what it is. And I wonder how they're going to carve a niche in the Express LRS community with that. I fully get that there should be high-end Express LRS hardware. I agree with it. It's one of the reasons I still think TBS should get involved in making Express LRS hardware. But that pricing is on the high end, the very, very high end of it. Even get the Namimno with the OLED screen capable 1 watt for 60. Exactly. Interesting indeed. I'm not sure. I'm not convinced they've got that one right. And they do make some nice products, actually. And I'm in the process of looking at getting, if I go back on their website, FR Sky's getting involved. We have seen that. Yeah, we talked about that last week with FR Sky releasing that module, which is basically the same module they've always been making. They've just been putting their own firmware on it. Well, now you can get it with the other firmware. But I've been interested in getting this. And this is their flight stack. And I've been looking at getting this in the UK because I'm looking at getting stacks. And this will lead us quite nicely on to the price thing, which I'll talk about in a minute. But I have been looking at getting that. But it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. Nothing from Maytech yet. Yeah, surprised at that. They've done the receiver, but no transmitter. Amantech have it in stock in the UK. What's that? The Happy Model Pro for $36. I should do an order on that, actually. You've seen it for pre-order in Canada. The Access box. The stack, yeah. And we'll talk about that in a minute because it's pricing that comes down to as well, actually. I'm just going to get that in place. Does it run Ardrew? No, I don't believe Ardrew supports it at the moment, but there's no reason they couldn't. They couldn't. Now, this leads me on nicely to this conversation about stacks and pricing of components. We're all facing an increase in costs. If you've been watching around the world, you'd have seen the price of living is going up. RPI is increasing everywhere, no matter where you are, whether it be the UK, the US. And it's really beginning to hit FPV and drones and everything. And it's interesting because there's been a lot of talk about the Mavic 3 being expensive. I actually don't think it is expensive. I think overall pricing is about where we're going to find a lot of drones gonna be. But you're starting to see FPV pricing go up and up and up, and you're really starting to see this in anything that uses STM32 or chipsets, which is your flight controllers. Now, as I said earlier, I've got the AOS 7 frame coming. Sorry about the mic hit. That is Chris Ross's design frame. I have it coming over from Canada. I think it ships from, and it is en route, and it should be with me in a few days. If you haven't seen that, AOS 7, which is Chris's frame, and I'm going to be using this as part of my long range build, and I'm looking forward to getting this and seeing what some of the noise is about on this one. But I've then been looking at the price of flight stacks to go in it because I haven't got a spare controller. I have got a flight controller, which is this Speedy Bee. But it's a 20 by 20, and I've been looking at something a little bit bigger. The ESC isn't big enough on this. And I've been looking at getting something bigger. So I'm looking at flight stacks, and I'm looking for ones with larger ESCs, not 35s or 30 amps like this one here. And there isn't a lot available right now. No matter where you go, everything is basically out of stock. We've got the Mamba flight stack with a 55 amp, which is okay. That's not terribly priced. £74 in the UK. Not bad. I think that's an option. It really is. You've got the H7 stack in stock, but look at the pricing on this now. $114. Oh, sorry, pounds. Again, because they're having to use that H7 SOC. And we do have this Axis fly in stock, which again is 109. And I wouldn't mind checking this out, if I'm honest. I do like the idea of this metal encased flight stack. And I am tempted to give this one a go. It's not overpriced compared to the other flight stacks out there, as you've seen already. And, you know, you've got the dual capacitors on the input, which is a nice touch. You know, there's a lot to like in this, if I'm honest. There really is. So it's got a beta flight target, F7 SOC, barometer, 6 UARTs, 2 to 6S, 3 amp BEC, ESC sensor supported, HDN analog, obviously, GPS, 8 options for PWM, and it does look fairly good. You know, this is something I'm actually tempted to do a build on. And I do like the idea of having it encased. I think it's something we should probably see more on FPV style controllers, you know, especially if you're looking to try and have longevity on them. I do like my hobby wing ones. I've been looking for like a hobby wing stack, but they've been out of stock. I haven't been able to fly hobby wing. I have the CL Racing stack and it's been indestructible since I built it over a year ago. I have the Mamba F405 on my 7-inch and I've had no issues. That's pretty good. Go for it. Cheap considering has to build now. No, it's priced right. I agree with that. I think the overall pricing on this is good, but just look at what is out of stock right now. Stock in stuff is just so limited, especially iFlight. I've noticed a lot of iFlight stuff is out of stock. A lot of the iFlight stuff isn't available at all. You know, out of stock, 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 out of stock. There's nothing available at all. So it's going to be interesting to see what the options are. For me, I think, you know, what we got here. We got is this stack in stock? We've got a 50 amp stack here, which is a F722, which is another nice option. Mamba F22 stack could go with that one, you know. And the thing to understand that, you know, when you look at this, that's quite a bit of saving over the Axis stack. You know, £76. What we got here? Yeah, it's got everything we need it to have. 50 amp ESC, 60 amp rated, D-Shot 300, 600. So it's not bad. There is a T-motor stack. I haven't used T-motor for a very long time. You know, so you got this one at 74. You got that one. So a 722 Mark II, Mark III. So you got the Mark III and the Mark II. H7 is completely unnecessary at the moment in FPV especially. Yeah, it's just not needed. You know, I wouldn't go with that one. But there is a bit of a saving here over that. So why do you need a stack? Just FC and a 4-in-1. Well, the problem is a lot of stuff is out of stock. And this is why I'm looking at a stack. If I look to try and buy ESCs especially, there is just no supply out there of ESCs right now. Unmanned often have shortages, but what I've noticed in the UK is ESCs are just not available. You just cannot get ESCs right now. There is a big shortage of speed controllers because of the chip shortage. 45s, no. Don't want them. 55. See, look, and some of the prices of these ESCs are... I was on Hobby RC the other day and they had very little, but have they stocked up? If we go on Hobby RC. I was looking on Hobby RC a couple of days ago, but they might have added stock. So if we go on ESCs, for instance, what we got here? 35s are no good. We need some big ESCs on this. It needs to be... I do like this one. I wouldn't mind the Hobby Wing. Is it back in? No, out of stock. I do like that Hobby Wing. 20 amp is no good. 40 amp is no good. Not on a 7-inch. 45, 55. Never heard of Sky Stars. Wouldn't go with that. T-motor, 55 amp, 4-in-1. In stock, okay. So the T-motor is there. The Hobby Wing is in stock at UMT. But the problem is, by the time you start messing around with the separate ESC, you know, you're already talking like $62 pounds here for an ESC. It's almost not worth it. The stacks are cheaper a lot of the time. You do get saving having the stacks. There are, you know, you could go with, you know, look at that. That 55 amp is £74 alone. So it's, you know, there's the 60 amp. That is a good ESC. Oh, it's in stock. The 60's back in unmanned. It wasn't there yesterday. That is a good ESC. That is a very good ESC. However, it's, you're talking £51 on its own, and then I need a flight controller. Okay, I could nick that flight controller and use the Speedy Bee. But even then, when you're talking flight controller, so stacks do offer good value. They do offer good value. There's no question about that. But I am tempted on the Access. I really am. But at the end of the day, does it really have anything the Mamba has? You know, if we look at the Mamba, it's got I2C, specification, F7, MPU, it's got a Barrow. Yeah, look. It's got everything you need. It's got everything you need from a flight stack. So what about the BC? Has it got a BC? 3.3 or 5 volt at 3 amp. What more do you want? It's probably the sensible option, isn't it? Really? It is. But we're going to have to see. We're going to have to see. Good evening, Gary. How are you? The T-Motor F7 is a brilliant stack. I've seen that. T-Motor F7. Is that the F7 HD and 55 amp? Is that this one? One second, guys. 2 seconds. Sorry about that. It's a coughing fit again. I keep having random coughing fits. So is it that one? That's the DJI version. Yeah. $109 again. £109, I should say. F722 can't run Arduino. I'm not particularly worried about Arduino on these. These will be Betaflight. On a 7-inch, I'm still running Betaflight. Mark, my chief, honestly, the Mambas are solid as fuck. Only managed to kill one because the crossfire antenna shorted the ESC out. Oh, wow, that sucks. Did it wear through then? Did the shielding wear through on the ESC? Yeah, it's amazing. Is it on, how much is it on Hobby RC? Should we have a look? Flight controllers. I think I did see the T-Motor one. Should we search T-Motor? There you go. Oh, wow. F4 HD? The antennas were chopped in the prop strike and went into the ESC. It was a solid crash. So that's the F4 version. Is there an... Where's the F7? There we go. 112. Yeah, it's back up. A lot of stacks don't have iNav target. No, I'm not particularly... Look, I'm going to run Betaflight on what I'm running anyway, on the 7-inch. Unless I do go iNav. So I'd have to have a look. What I haven't had a look at what the compatible controllers for iNavs are at the moment. It's been a while. It's been a big fan of F4. Yeah, you know, F4 still does what you need it to do. To be honest, looking at this, is there an iNav? Here's an interesting question. So, is there an iNav target for the Mamba? You've gone all JB. No, I prefer Ardrew on bigger aircraft, not smaller. I'll be honest. I prefer Ardrew on the bigger ones. I'm not the greatest fan of iNav. I've had some very strange behaviour from iNav aircraft. I've got very used to tuning Betaflight like I like it. And I can do it very quickly and it behaves like I expect it to behave. I've had a couple of iNavs which I've tried tuning and it just feels it just doesn't feel as I want it to feel. But I wouldn't be against doing a 7-inch iNav build. At least I'd have proper return to home, which is nice. I wish they'd put proper return to home in Betaflight. I really, really do. What is the official iNav compatible? What's the official iNav list right now? Does anyone know? Speedy B Version 2, the F7, that has an iNav target. Does it? Because the problem is, where is all of the targets? Boards based on 722s. That's not the right page. GPS Rescue has never let me down. Never used Betaflight. I have no reason to. Yeah, Betaflight is very good. Is good for fixed wing. Yeah, I can imagine. I'll say this with iNav. I find iNav really awkward to find out what boards are available. Okay, so I have configurator. Let's get the new one just in case something's changed. It's been a while. So we got Matex 7 Speedy B Version 2. Cool. So let's just update the configurator, shall we? Win64. So let's just get that done while we're on here, and we can take a look at what the list of compatible units is. Is it on the website? I always struggle with iNav to find the compatible controllers. I always struggle every time with iNav to find. Here we go. See, look, it doesn't even need to be in. Did I not download the installer? Were they? Is it? It's a configurator. Okay, right there. Extract. iNav configurator. So let's run the iNav configurator from the folder. Posted a link. Let's have a look. I might need. It's not letting you post it, Steve. If I add you as a moderator, Steve, try posting it again. It's on GitHub. Yeah, it's in the configurator as well. But I always find on the website, I find it really hard on the website to find what is compatible. Documentation and support. I find it's never as simple. There we go, Steve. Thank you very much, mate. So iNav 4 compatible hardware. So H743 support. Oh, that's very cool. Yeah, I always find it all over the place. I just can never just go, give me a list of every flight controller. And so on here, so we're on the website. So this is the, obviously, version 4. So we're on here. Do we find the list? because this is obviously the new stuff or recommended stuff. But, you know, there's lots of stuff that it works with. So so this is the list here then. Is this every flight controller for iNav? So what am I looking at? I'm looking at getting the Mamba Stack F22. So I'm guessing it would be Mamba F22. So I'm guessing, is it that then? But the problem then is, if you look at this Mamba stack, this is the Mark III. What's the difference between the Mark III and the Mark II? And is this working with the Mark III or Mark II? If you get my meaning. It's on the drop down. Yeah, I did say, I know you got the drop down for firmware, so we can go to firmware flasher, choose a board. So if we go for Mamba 722 or 722 I2C, so is that the I2C version of the board? It always feels a bit all over the place, iNav, on finding the target you want for your board. You know, if I look down the list now for iNav, what boards I've got already. So if I look at, so we've got Hobby Wing on one of them. So there's no Hobby Wing, by the look of it. Which is, and that Hobby Wing is fully Speedy V F7 version 2. Yeah, it is a bit confusing. I find iNav a bit like that at times, just trying to find what targets are. So in theory, if I'm reading this right, and if anyone, I should reach out to Pavel. This Mamba Stack Basic F722 Mark III adds I2C function. So this stack includes the new adds I2C. And does the version 2 that I saw, which is down here, not have I2C? Yes. Okay, so that makes sense. So this is the version with I2C, and iNav has the I2C release, so that should be the thing. But it does seem a bit confusing at times, doesn't it? It does seem a little bit confusing. Steve uses I2C version. Yeah, I'm guessing. So the nice thing about that stack is I could use hoping not to sound like a broken record, but Argopilot has an excellent return to home. Yeah, Argopilot return to home is fantastic. I just prefer, I like Argopilot on the builds that are for camera style bigger drones. I do prefer it. On the 7-inch, I would like to put iNav. I would like to put it. I wish Betaflight would have proper return to home. I really do. It's not good enough. It just there's no reason it can't have land. That's all it needs to do. That's all it needs to do. Just watched Grant and Ant's Cowboy latest video, 7 kilometers and HD0, 500 milliwatts. I can imagine it. It's very possible. Very, very possible indeed. Pig FPV, good evening. How are you, my friend? I always find, because it's not got a compass, because it doesn't use a compass, it's this whole swinging around thing is the problem on GPS Rescue. So, let me just grab a controller. That's got Betaflight on it. Plug in a USB cable a second. Here we go. So let's just plug this in. This is my bench controller, which I burnt out once. We'll make you guys laugh, right? I burnt out one of the internal tracks on the PCB. And what I've ended up having to do is loop it. Loop from the USB input. I burnt the track by accident. So I had to put a loop in to get it to power up. This is an old Beta FPV. This is an old Brain FPV RE1. Good controller though. But if we open a Beta Flight configurator, go to desktop, boom, boom, boom. Connect. Come on, be nice. Come on, there it is. Come on. Thank you. It'll be COM8. Connect. So as you can see, we're all connected. I'm using the NVIDIA thing tonight for the background. It doesn't work great, but it doesn't work terribly, does it, for the man in the corner? I'm interested in your thoughts on that in a minute. I'm not using the green screen, obviously. I've got the green screen behind me, but I'm just using NVIDIA's software to do that. I forgot I had it. I stole the idea off Joshua Bardwell because JB was using it because he's got a new 3080 and he was using it. I was like, why aren't I using that? But I do need to ask JB a question because I don't know how to do it on two separate things. But if we look at, let's go to enable there, go on to failsafe. So we've got the drop, you've got drop, land, and return to home, which is that one there. But what I always find is when I was using these settings, the last time I tried this, and I haven't tried it for a while, it doesn't just come in and land. It does this circle before it tries to, because it doesn't have compass, so it's trying to figure out where it is. And the last time I did it, it wanted to take, it was trying to get, there was trees around, and it was trying to, it almost ended up in one of those trees. Perhaps I need to retest this and check how it behaves, actually, because I haven't tried it in a very long time. It's not good enough. It's for races freestyle GPS, not necessary, but we got it. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, I haven't got it. I just like it to come along and down is what I'd like. The virtual background looks good. Yeah, it's the NVIDIA one, so I'm just using that on the desktop rather than thing. I can see it's not perfect, but it's good enough. Does it still expect you to land? I think it tries to. And that's the only other thing is, at least, if you can regain control. But I do like having, you want a full return to home at some point. Last time I had one enter GPS failsafe, I couldn't get it to give me back control. It just wouldn't play ball. I was like, hello, give me back control. And it just wouldn't do it. It was just probably something I need to go and play with a bit more, if I'm honest. It will land, but yeah, but that's my test controller on the bench. That one there. But you have got it. I have iNavs for the win. 4 iNavs for the win. Yeah, I think that stack is probably a good option for me. Looking at it. I think that's probably, look, I would like to try the Axis fly-in. But, you're talking 40, what's it, 75, 85, 95, 105. You're talking £35 more. And I'm just not convinced it's worth it for £35 more. So I will probably go with the Mark III F7. That makes more sense right now. But even motors are out of stock. I've been looking at getting motors, and if we go into drone parts for the 7-inch. So if we click down, we want motors, we want brushless motors, we want a filter. KV rating, motor size, and we want to go to, what are we looking for? 7-inch. So I want to be 2507s, probably 2507s, 1300 or 1800 kV. What should we go? And they only have the Brother Hobbies, and I prefer iFlight. So if we go over to Hobby RC, we go to motors. And what I'd be looking for is, I really like my Xing motors. So I've been looking at, what have I been looking at? 26. I was looking at the 2506's 1350 kVs. Yeah, Ben, I don't know if Ben's got anything this small, actually. Let's just have a look. 3DXR. Does Ben have anything this small? Ben's stuff tends to be a bit bigger, but if he has, we will be getting it from Ben. Motors, T-Motor motors. He does a lot of T-Motor stuff. Let's just have a look. What size has Ben got down to? Most of Ben's stuff is pretty big. Not propeller. We want to go 6-inch. That's just propellers. Motor KV. So we want to go. That's 1750. He hasn't got nothing that small. Emax Ecos, what I tend to use, I do look on my FPV stuff is Xings, and I was looking at these. So the 2506 1350 KVs is what I was looking at. But does Ben have, right, so it's got multi-rotor, T-Motors motors. Has he got any 1350 kV? What about 1700 kV? Ben doesn't normally have anything that small. No. So that's what I've been looking at is Emax Eco 2807s. Quite big on 2807s. Wow, okay. I do like the Xing motors. They're very good. I don't get too many problems with them. I haven't tried their cheaper ones. What was it someone was saying down there? So the Emax Eco. So if can we filter these? Unfortunately, you can't filter. If we look at what we're looking at, 1350 to 1700 kVs. Faultless. The Emax Ecos. Okay, so where are they then? Where can we look at Emax Ecos? Are they listed on here? T-Motor. Let's have a look. Were they at the top? Name A to Z. Let's do it that way, shall we? And Mantech. What they got them on here? So what size are they? What size are they then? So they're the 28. Take the filter down. Get rid of the filter. $2807s. 2807. Oh, okay. They're not bad priced either, are they? They're pretty good. Okay, do they do 6S? Yes. Good. No, I haven't seen it yet. I'm going to have to go and have a look at that, Jimenez. We haven't. We'll put that up in a minute. We will go and have a look at that in a minute. I know Wes is doing some long-range testing as well. I'm not shocked. HG0 in clear line of sight is very, very good. It's easily capable of great distances in clear line of sight. It really is. There's no reason it can't. And 1 watt will make a big difference on that. Interesting. Okay, they're priced very good. 6S 1300 kV. So you guys can recommend them, can you? Because that is a good saving over what I was looking at. Because I was looking at quite a bit more. Eco 2 is recommended by Pavel. So which are the Eco 2s? Is that the EMAS Eco 2s? Yeah. Pavel recommends them as well. So good. Okay. Good. Okay. This is a good saving, that is. Definitely. Because, you know, if you look, this is the thing. If you talk, I was looking at 1350 kV. I was looking at, what was I looking at? The iFlight Zings, 2506s. Yeah, see, there's £17 a motor. You know, it's a big difference in cost. It's a real big difference in cost. And what are these? 2807s. Okay, so what have we got here? 2506s. So they're taller and wider. So it's a bigger motor overall, isn't it? It really is a bigger motor overall. What's it saying? The current draw on the specs. Let's have a look. 1300 kV. Do they say? Voltage 25.5 current. So 47 amp at full thrust. Okay, pretty good. It's under the 50. Should be fine. Yeah. Should be fine. Good. So it's looking like we're going to have to order some of them. And the Mamba stack. I think we have a winner, ladies and gentlemen. Why are the motors not there? Did they not add? No, they didn't. Why didn't the motors add? There we go. View basket. There we go. So that's not terrible. That's not terrible. I just got to figure out what else I need. I got motors, stack. You're not going to hit 47 amps. No, I just wanted to have a look what the peak amperage was for using. Look at that Express LRS receiver rattling its nuts off. Look, can you guys see it on the camera? Look, flashing away on Wi-Fi. If all being well, that's probably connected to. I've got plenty of receivers for Express LRS, but I'll be using Crossfire on this build. Probably. For where I live, there are still reasons. The reason I will be choosing Crossfire on this build is I want low frequency, and I don't have 700 or 800 megs Express LRS. So for this build, I will be using Crossfire, much to many people's hate. But there is a reason why I want the low frequency, because of the type of areas I fly at times. We should be on unit commission. Why does no one use the land on failsafe function on Betaflight? Everyone uses drop. Does it not work correctly or what? I think it's the community behind Betaflight that means they just don't use failsafe style features. So it looks like I'm doing an iNav build in the 7-inch then, guys. Does 4.0, and I haven't checked this, support canvas mode for HD0 yet? Because I won't be happy if it doesn't. Where is it? Where's the link? Okay, so what was added in iNav? So does for still really I didn't think it did, but I wanted someone to confirm. You are telling me that it still doesn't. Here's a rant. So why is it that iNav doesn't support canvas mode in 4.0 that's just released? What good reason is there that they haven't done that yet? That is shocking. I'm sorry, but it is shocking. And this is the bits that annoy me, because we have Betaflight that has poor return to home. You have iNav that doesn't fully support canvas mode. And it's, see, Pavel, blame Pavel. I like Pavel. He's a very good guy. But it's just like, why? You know, we don't want this fragmentation in the systems. We want support for them in, you know, and it's, I know there's a custom iNav build with it in, and I know iNav is running a different version of MSP. It was, at least. But it just frustrates me. So, what OSD options are there then, off the top of my head? Does HD0 still support the standard OSD? I don't think it does. I've forgotten this. I thought when they added canvas mode, you lost the basic OSD. Yeah, hacked 3.01 works. So why is it not in 4.0? That's now out. It's very frustrating. Very. Let me just find the link to iNav in the chat again. Where is it? Because that'll take me back to the page. Steve posted it. Where is it, Steve? You posted the link just now. I just want to click on it because it'll take me back to the page I was on. iNav. Releases. There we go. Sorry, I'm on there now. So if we just go on. It's just, why? Why? Slow devs. I know the devs are good. Devs are. It's unfair to call devs slow until they give up on a project. Do you know what I mean? PPM receivers are no longer supported. Good. It's the end of that. iNav Lua script. Good. iNav upgrade from free. Important changes. Filtering changes. Common filter supported by default. KKK. Right dynamics. I'm just looking down what's changed. OSD units. GPUs, K units. Auto tune. It's very frustrating though, isn't it? It's just things like this. I'll let you know offline, a long and convoluted story. Send me a message. So, iNav, get your finger out. I want canvas mode. So, what we'll do, guys, before we finish up, let's go and have a look at this long range HD0. So, let's get on here. Here we go. Long range testing. Just gone live. I can't hear this myself. You guys can.
That was one of the most intense flights.
I'm just gonna.
Hey guys, welcome back.
A minute. Let's have a look. So what are they doing? They're printing some stuff. We'll have to watch this. So he's printing custom antennas for the faceplate unit. Okay. So instead of having the front patches and then the Omnis, they're doing a mix and match of antennas. Okay, interesting. So they're using UFLs to RPSMAs or SMAs. Wow. Okay, so let's just go up front. Whoa. Wow. Look at that. Okay, 25 milliwatts, 3 kilometers. Now, I'm going to comment on this in a minute, and nothing about what they're doing. I think they're doing an amazing job. But this is the problem. We shouldn't have to go that far to get that kind of range. But it's impressive. Don't get me wrong. Oh, come on, YouTube. But that's a lot of antenna. That is some image. That is fantastic. Fair play to them. Outstanding work. It's just a shame you've got to go to this level. Wow. Now, range test 2, 200 milliwatts. How far out are they? 2 kilometers. So what do they then do? 500 milliwatt range test. So they're going to go for the 500. So I'm guessing they're using the full wattage, the 500 VTX. He's using the double stack. Where is it? I don't see it. There is that it there jammed in. I couldn't quite see the. Is it? Where is it? Is that the double stack? That must be the double stack A unit there. So 500 milliwatts. Bit off. Here we go. It's quite a run, doing 7 kilometers on an FPV quad as well. That is shockingly impressive in itself. 2 kilometers, looking good. Look at the battery level already. Look, he's at 3.5 volts a cell. So does he land it up there then? Does he? Because look at the voltages he's down to. Oh my God. So does he land it on the top? Or does he get it back down? I'm looking forward to seeing this. He's at 8. Look at the alt. 9. It's almost a kilometer up because of the altitude. Look at the battery flashing. What does he do? Yeah, she's dying. She's going. And I'm assuming he does it and bins the aircraft because he ain't getting that back. Not at 3 volts, 3.4 volt a cell. Downhill wind assisted. It's not even going to glide, is it? It's got so little air up there. You know, he's a kilometer up and 7 kilometers. .06. 05. But can we make it? Don't tell me he makes that back. Don't tell me he makes that back. He's at 3.2. There's no way. There's no way he can get back on that. I look, it's down to 3. No, it's not looking good. Oh my God. I'm shocked that ESC hasn't shut down. I'll be honest. I'm not looking at the chat right now, guys, so whatever you're saying. He's at 400 meters. Oh my God. They got that back. That is amazing. That is absolutely amazing. Oh my God. Look. Look. Oh, she's down. Oh my God. I'm going to have to watch this properly. Wow. What a video. What a video. What a video. Wow. I need to get the chat back up. Oh, he's on lithium ion. I never spotted. Let me get that off. So I can get back to the chat. You could get... that looks wicked. Right, I'm just catching back up the chat. 7.06. That cannot be. No, I never thought. That's nuts. Yeah, you can go to 2.5 volt with lithium ion. Oh, it's got to be lithium. Oh my God, that it's all downhill, but still, it's downhill at the ground as well. That's incredible. That is one of the best videos I have seen in a long time. That is fantastic. That really is. So does he say, do they show what the build is? Do they, let's just go back on that. I'm assuming it's lithium ion. It's got to be. And it, obviously, because I'm not listening to it. Yeah, that's cells. And that's round cells. So he's got the T motor 2306s. He must mention at the start, I'm guessing, the setup of the aircraft. Wow, 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 wow. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Absolutely fantastic. What a video. Yes, lithium ion. Wow, 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 wow. When I was looking at those voltages, I just thought he's not making it back. Those batteries will be all right. Yeah. Those batteries, yeah, they'll be fine at that. It was just, I was expecting the voltages to come down and the ESCs to cut off, because that's what happened to me in my crash where the aircraft ended up, when I lost the LiPo. It's the ESC that nailed me. You know, in this little crash I had, this one I shared with you guys before, when I had a battery go bad. Where is it? Here it is. It was coming down. It was the ESC shut down in flight in that one. So I just had a LiPo, and I had just a sudden drop in voltage on the pack, and it just buried itself. This is the one I nearly lost. I nearly lost the DJI action. And it was the LiPo. And it just cut the ESC in the end. The voltage fell down below the ESC minimum. And it and shut down. But yeah, that's what a video. Wow, 7 kilometers, HD0, 500 milliwatts. On your next on my 7. I'm interested to see what 1 watt will do on HD0. I really am. I
the
think
LiPo die on me, and I'm
HD0
flying in
1 watt
these
is
conditions
going to be very, very
and
interesting. I think it is going to be.
I managed just after 40
it's
minutes
still not
of
going
searching,
to look as good as
find
DJI.
it
DJI
just hiding
has the
behind this
benefit of
rock.
the packet
Now the
retransmits.
LiPo died, so I didn't get any
way
beeps.
work
Action
is going
looks
to look. Oh, sorry,
okay.
it's still playing, was it? Sorry, I forgot to. There you go. I muted that now. Sorry, I left it playing, but didn't realize we were on that. Yeah, it's. Turn your vid off. Yeah, we can still hear the other one. There we go. Turn the background off. Yeah, done now. It should all be done. I've stopped it. But yeah, I think 1 watt HD0 is going to be very, very interesting. I think it's going to make a massive difference. I know some people are testing it. I've heard some stuff in the background. I've been talking to some people in the background. Good evening, Bruce. How are you? What time do you call this? But it is going to be interesting. It really is. So, guys, if you've got any questions, it's the question time. So if there's anything you guys want to know, please do let me know. I saw a comment right at the start. Background audio is still on. It's not playing, so it shouldn't be. We shouldn't have anything in the background now, or unless you're slightly behind. That is incredible. That is a fantastic video. I've been out flying. Nice weather, not to waste. If you've got any questions, guys, I did see someone ask me right at the start, one of the very first questions. You're good. I was behind, lol. That's fine, Bobby. Someone asked, can I have a push on canvas mode for DJI? So I'm going to do it now, and I'm going to record it and put it up as a live stream clip. So I'm going to put it up as the live stream clip. So one of the first questions we had today on the stream was, what is happening with canvas mode on DJI? Now, for those who've seen, I've already put a video out talking about this, and I'll put it up on the screen to show you guys now about it. But there has been no further info. Right now, we do not know if anything is going to happen on canvas mode at all. Are Cadex doing it? Are DJI doing it? It is 0. As I mentioned in my video, DJI have never out and out said canvas mode is coming. However, Cadex were the ones that said they were working on it. All I can say to you guys is Cadex is the person who said it was coming or they were working on it. It is going to be down to Cadex to answer that. So Cadex, if you're watching this, can you please give us an update about what's going on? Everyone wants to know. Everyone wants to understand, is it happening or not? And if it isn't, tell us. It's that simple. Was this marketing BS that was said to try and calm down the situation with that locked ear unit, or is this something that could happen? You guys said it. We owe you nothing. You are a manufacturer. We are a consumer. You said you were working on canvas mode. That doesn't mean it would ever happen, and I understand that, but you said it. So if you said it, we would like you to tell us what is going on. So this is a message directly aimed at Cadex. Please give us an update on what is happening with canvas mode. But if it isn't happening, let's put this to bed and get it sorted now, please, rather than let this roll on and on and on. Both you and me know what happened in that initial conversation between myself and you guys, and the information that was provided by myself and other people. And then you went out and publicly said you were working on it. You chose to do that. So it's down to you now to tell us what is happening. No one put pressure on you to say you were going to do it. No one put pressure on you to say that you are working on this. However, you said it in your statement. So now we want you to tell us what is going on. It is that simple. There you go. I'm going to cut that as a live stream clip. It's that simple. It really is that simple. And we'll cut that as a live stream clip and we will put that up tomorrow. Good evening, Sean. How are you? Bruce and Sean at the same time. Have you two been together? Have you two been together? Shots fired. It's that simple. They might not like that, but oh well. I'm good at upsetting people. Did they? That's interesting. They don't speak to me anymore. They reached out when it suited them. I'll say that. But since then, they haven't. What did they reach out for, Bruce? There's a proper tool you can get for making lithium ions. Ben does it himself. It's very cool. You have a welding tool thing. You're waiting for the new HD1 digital system. What's the HD1? Someone asked earlier as well about the RCs. Are you still here about the SIYI RCs? If you're still here, just remind me. I don't think they like the bad PR. Yeah, it's interesting. They reach out when they don't like bad PR. Ah, sorry, Bruce. Yeah, my brain wasn't working. In America, we call that a fair weather friend. Yes. Yeah, in America, we call that a fair weather friend. I will cut that, and I will upload that later. HD1, yeah, maybe the idea is HD1. Yeah, I was a bit slow on that one. So, guys, any last questions, please do put them in the chat. I'll try and answer them. So, the plan moving forward, I have 6 videos ready to go up. I might just blast a load out over Christmas because I've got more videos than I've got time to upload. Your thoughts on the Edge PDB only rated at 40 amps? I think it'll be fine for most use. The NASAs and stuff don't really go over 40 amps. Those kind of motors and stuff, the motors they've designed it for, which is the same ones it comes with, the T-motor ones and stuff, I don't think it'll be a problem. I have this week set up, for those who are watching the Discord, I was actually setting the Edu 450 board up with ArduPilot and playing with the Lua scripts for the lighting. I'll actually put that up to show you guys, and I will have a video on that. I'm going to record that over the Christmas period. Let me just find it. Dollar Shave Club. Yes, Bruce. I need a haircut on the top and the face at the moment. You missed the start of this video, Bruce. You missed... I'm going to leave this video with how I started it because Bruce is here. So I will do that for you guys. We'll do it and then I'll come back. But for those who hadn't seen, I was testing... Where is it? In the general chat. Oh no, it might be an Ardro. Yes, the new LED kit. So let me just put this up for you guys. Let me just put this up. So I was testing the board with the LED kit. And we had a cube. We got a cube attached. And we've got the lights attached via a Lewis script that changed the colours as you tilt the aircraft. Which was quite good on the Lewis script. And then also it has shown it in the dark. I think it's a bit easier to see in the dark. And as you tilt it, it changes the colours of the LEDs. But you can also set it up to do all sorts of other stuff with the Lewis script in Ardra Pilot. So I'm going to have a video on that coming. I was just doing the testing to get my head around it. And these are basically the Profi LED styles. But yeah, as you move the autopilot, it changes the colours of the LEDs. But you can set it to do landing lights. You can set it to do all sorts of stuff via the Lewis script in Ardra Pilot. So I was playing with that as well. So that's pretty good. Am I angling for sponsorship by Dollar Shave Club? Yes, please. I'd love sponsorship. I'd love sponsorship, period, at the moment. Thank you for the stream. Thank you, Ron. I do appreciate that. Do you come to the snow would be great for Christmas? It would be, Sean. It's just a disturbing upload of Ian attempted fitness. I will never be the same. It is shocking. Now that video is already gone live, actually. So that video is already gone up. So I'll let the people watch that. And I need to share it with Dave. Do you know how dangerous it is to fly a drone at night? CASA has warned the world. I bet they have, Bruce. I bet they have. So, guys, that's it from me. I will have a Mavic 3 Cine in hand, I believe, by the end of this week. A massive thank you to the dealer I shall name. Yes, Bruce, you should. Go check mine out. I'll leave you all with it for those who haven't watched it. I'll leave you with it before we go, and then I'll come back. Okay, let's go for it. Are we ready? We'll come back to end the stream, but we'll go to the video first. So here we go.
And I got caught up in a cord there. There you go. I challenge any other YouTuber to beat me to clapping push-ups.
Okay, so this clearly isn't going to end well, but let's see what happens. If you want to make a complaint about what you're about to see, please send it to Dave at the EEV blog, because it's going to be his fault. Anyway, let's get on with this. Haven't you seen what I look like, Dave? The state of me. Right. 1, 2, 3. Oh, fucking hell. Fuck now. You, Dave. And your fitness. Please go and troll Dave by going to his website and buying as many multimeters of his as you can. That way he'll have to spend all his time packaging and posting things, and he can't do any more stupid challenges like he's done. Thank you. Stop him. He should not be allowed to make stuff like that. He should not be challenging people. Someone is going to die. The word is, I died and I was replaced by a lookalike, just like they did Paul McCartney. Big Clives. I have ordered I have one of his meters en route myself as we speak, but he was complaining that so many people order his meters that it takes up too much time. So please continue to troll Dave by ordering his meters. I do catch Dave's live stream. He's a great guy. He makes me laugh. Again, like Bruce, one of the very early YouTubers, fantastic. And yes, so there you go. I survived. So guys, from me, what we'll have is there's the Beta FPV video to come. Not the Beta FPV. There isn't. There's the Speedy B video on this stack to come. We have the Edu 450 and the Ardrew. I have the other two Express LRS ones to go up. They're ready to go. And there's a few other videos which I'm going to probably put a few out this week. There might be one or a couple. It might be one a day this week, in fact, because I need to catch up and get some of these ones out. But there'll be a few to come on that. And then in the new year, we're going to get the Mavic 3. I got a DJI FPV video I want to do. And there's a couple I want to do on the Mavic 3 as well. Some need more space than others, Bruce. Yeah, I definitely needed the space. It is a challenge to find space, any of us. Yes, so it nearly killed me. I will say that. So 3, I've done 3. There you go, Sean. It's your challenge now. But no, look, guys, a massive thank you. Great evening tonight. Really enjoyed it myself, and I do enjoy these live streams. And I'm going to get the shilling in now. Right. Let me get something in place before we get the shilling in place, because I want to get the Discord server up. Where is it? Where is it? Where are you? Where are you? There you go. There we are. There it is. No, it isn't. There it is. Okay, so before we finish it up, first of all, I'd like to thank you all for spending some time with me. If you are new here, please hit the button, hit the subscribe, hit the bell, give us a thumbs up. If you want to support us, and I want to thank everyone who has been, we've been getting more and more Patreons all of the time. A massive, massive thank you to the Patreons. Please do check out the link in the description. I'm building it up. I really appreciate all the support you guys are having, or giving me. Also, buy me a coffee as well. And if you're not, get on the Discord server. We have our own. It's free. It's building. There's more people coming on more and more all the time. Some interesting stuff that you don't see anywhere else. I'm trying to make more effort and put more stuff on there. You're seeing stuff that I haven't put in a video yet, or stuff I'm finding out. And you've got some amazing people like Failsafe and others. They're all on there. So please do check that out too. There's lots to come in the future. I want to thank you for spending some time with me. I now need to find the button to be able to end this damn stream. Where is it? There's a button on YouTube somewhere. I buy you a coffee, but you come in order to drink it. Thank you, Bruce. Massive appreciation. Oh, thank you, Sean. I really appreciate it. And in the new year, there's lots of cool stuff. I am going to talk to Bruce about doing our promised 2 years ago. Bruce, we need to do the camera talk. We need to come up with something. I want to do so. I wouldn't mind. I've been thinking about doing it's like me and you just having a sofa chat. I need somebody to sit down and just talk about things. Also, Sean there's some interesting stuff. You might come see me and Sean doing some more stuff together, because Sean's an amazing guy as well, as is Gary and the team, and we'll be back every Tuesday. Camera confusions. I like that. Sitting there saying, what the fuck is this? What the fuck does this mean? You could only do that with Sony. You could just sit there with a Sony camera and just shout words like, what the fuck is this do? All of the time, because that's what Sony menu systems are like. That would be quite funny. But yeah, camera confusions, I like that. I like that a lot. But Sean is amazing. You know, Sean's channel is growing by the minute. Sean is going to be like the Greyhound. He's going to be past me and the others in very short order, because the man is a genuine member of the press. He is a genuine person, not like the rest of us who mess around on this. You know, he's a proper journalist is the term I'm looking for, and he is building something very, very special on his channel. And he is, because he's getting some people involved and people on there. You're going to see some great stuff in the future as well. Bruce is still Bruce. He's the godfather of this stuff, just like Dave, and you know, the F-bomb, the F-stop, you know, it's going to be interesting to see where, Bruce is still doing his rants and we all love them. And look, we're going to be back in the new year. There's lots to go. I won't be live next Sunday, thinking about it. That's something I've just thought of. It's New Year's Day. It's Boxing Day. That could get you a lot. Thank you, Sean. I do like that. That gets you a lot. Yes, the best advertising he's had for a while. Gigs fan, that was a great investment, as is Bruce, Gary and the gang and all of them and everyone who's here. I think I might do Monday next week. Probably do Monday night because next week is Christmas. So I might just do a chilled out Monday night with a beer and we'll talk and go from there. Anyway, stay safe, look after yourselves, avoid the virus, human malware, and I'll speak to you guys all soon. I ain't doing any more push-ups.